Hey YouTube, how's it going today? Hope you don't mind. I'm going to just point this little camera and a little thicket of some saplings here. I know a lot of people hate this. They're like, oh gosh, of all the things we have to look at sticks. Yes, we do. Today's topic is about a main element that doesn't get talked about and the differentiation between a novice prepper and a more mature, advanced prepper. And you may say, well, it's probably material goods, right? You know, the person who preps longer probably has more stuff, and therefore they're different in that way. And they may have different skill sets too, probably more of them, you know, a different type of mindset. They're more aware of stuff. The more advanced you are, you would think you would be more aware. And that all might be very true. And I'd say in most cases, it is true. But there's another aspect here. There's an aspect that is a little hard to define because people go at it in different ways. Some of it is very abstract. Some of it is very concrete. And this is for you to decide how you're going to implement this. But I would promote to kind of lean toward more the concrete, you know, and that would be the planning stage, you know, prepping. And it's an ongoing thing. If you watch the channel, you know that I advocate for a yearly review. I think it's better if you could do it every 6 months, though. So do a biannual review to account for any types of lifestyle changes. If you have a new child in your family, boom, that's a very big event there. If you lost your job, wow, you might make some changes now. Maybe you got a better job and you have more income. Ooh, yeah. Maybe you can actually change up some of your strategies now, and so forth. And so this goes on and on. I mean, people move, people get new resources, people get married, they break up, all these things happen. And so this is just a kind of a heads up to really focus on this, on planning, because this gets buried a bit. You know, I do it sometimes too. I get tunnel vision on stuff. You know, I mean, there are so many cool flashlights out there and backpacks and, tinder and fire starters and all this stuff that we get stuck in. Well, not all of us, but some of us. That it is really easy to kind of stop and just get kind of confused about what's the priority now. Because now you might be sitting in your man cave, if you're a guy, and sitting around looking at all your stuff. And you're like, wow, I don't know what else to do. But you may not actually have a written plan of how you're going to use all this stuff. And it might be very helpful to get a binder, put some loose leaf in there, and start writing. Or if you're good on the computer, just start typing away and print off some contingencies, some basic stuff, man, about where would you go? What would you do? What would you bring? You know, maybe you want to do an itemized list and inventories of your kits and stuff, which is a very good idea. And you just put all this together, along with different pieces of information of how to deal with certain emergencies, whatever it pertains to where you live. Everybody has their own stuff. Some people have hurricanes that threaten them. Some people have earthquakes. Some people have tornadoes. And you know the drill. You know, you should hopefully know what are the main natural, threats in your area, and maybe even man-made threats. And so this is something to kind of really ponder on, and to actually work on. Planning. So this is something that I would jump on right away if you haven't started. And I would just be mindful, though, that sometimes things happen in groups. And so just because there's maybe like a hurricane or a tornado in your area doesn't mean, though, that you may not be feeling well that day. You may be sick as a dog and you're laying in bed and you got the sirens going on outside and you're supposed to evacuate and you're lucky to even get outside, and you're stumbling and, man, you're going to probably need help if you live by yourself. Or maybe if you're caring for someone else, maybe an elderly family member, do you have a means to transport them, and their stuff and to get out? You got to think about all this. And so, typically there's multiple things that happen at the same time. The world is not sterile like that. The world doesn't wait until one disaster stops and then allows you to recoup, and then you get another problem. A lot of times things just all happen at the same time. And this is kind of how it happens on one part of my family. There's like this thing that I've noticed ever since I was a kid, that things happen in threes. I don't know why it does this. 3 people will just die immediately in the family, like boom, boom, boom. Or 3 people get, some kind of horrific thing happens to them. They get like really sick or injured, or they lose their really, really good job, or something happens, that's just like, wow, that's really bad. And then you go through these long periods of nothing happens and things are good, So it's like these big ebb and flows, and it's probably natural, but, things happen. Things really happen. And so there's not going to be a time that you can just say, well, oh man, I wish I could have, when I had more time, write out these plans. We got to be honest with ourselves. When we're under a stress load, we don't think as clear. And that's why I do advocate not just thinking about your plans in your head, but to write them down so you can pick up the binder and go, whoa, that's what I'm supposed to do. That actually makes more sense. That's logical, because you're going to forget some things. I can't tell you that, how many things I always forget, when I go on vacation. When I'm packing for a vacation, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get to the beach, or I can't wait to get to the Grand Canyon, or I can't wait to get to Europe. And I'm always missing stuff, It's like 3, 4 things usually. And it could be something kind of like a real head scratcher, like, wow, toothbrush, toothpaste, comb, and luckily I've never left my wallet at home, but, there's stuff like that, You're just like, how did I forget my deodorant? How did I forget this? And then, if you have an emergency kit and you just happen to forget to put water in there, or if you really don't have any food in there, that's not really that good, because you may not have time to be trying to find these resources, during an emergency. So you may want to have things all together, they call it a go bag for a reason, because you can pick it up and go. You can go right then and there. So some things really need to be ready and accessible right now. And there's no playing around. Just like you're planning, there should be, your top threats that threaten you and your family right now should be the first thing you go to and go, okay, this is the highest probability of something going to be, endangering us, and we need to work on how to overcome that. Okay, if it's a tornado, what are the first things we do? Okay, we go down to the shelter, or the basement, or whatever it is. We turn the weather radio on, or whatever, and you can just create your own sequence of planning of events that you do, and that will give you structure, and at least it'll be able to create a little order and allow you to go through a process so that you won't forget something that may be very important. All right, guys, the neighbor's dog is barking, and it's already driving me up a freaking a wall. So I'm going to get off here before I get really upset. You guys take care, though. Thanks a lot for all these messages, man. I'm getting flooded with messages. I'm going to have to probably start filtering this out. I can't really get back with everybody. It's just taking all my day. And so thank you, though, for doing this. Maybe you guys can talk a little bit more amongst each other and answer some of the questions. If you see an answer or a question, I'm sorry, if you see a question that I haven't answered, if you can chime in and help that person out, I really appreciate that. That would really help me. You guys, thanks a lot, though, for your support. And some of you guys have been with me from the very beginning, and it really is special for me that you're still with me. And the channel is growing. We're doing wonderful. Many people join every month. And so the views are up. Everything is up for the channel. Sometimes I just got to do other things in my day. So, some days it'll just be maybe one video or so, and some days might be more. But I'm in the middle of reading some books right now, and they're giving me some inspiration for future videos. And so I'm really looking forward to that. You guys take care.